On today's Local 6 Legal Line, attorneys Mark Bryan, Emily Roark from the Bryan Law Center in Paducah are along. And if you are a veteran, you want to pay attention to this, especially if you have had some hearing damage throughout your service. And Mark, Emily, I'm going to let you all expand on that just a little bit.
Sure. Well, let me tell you, Emily and I have gotten very involved at the Bryan Law Center with the military in this 3M earplug, defective earplugs that were made by 3M. And 3M is one of the largest countries in the entire world, and they're based out of Minnesota. And they made some earplugs that they sold to the federal government, and nobody knew it, but for a 10-year period between 2003 and 2015, everybody that was in the military was required to wear these earplugs, most especially when they were in combat. And it turns out that while all that occurred, so many people ended up with hearing loss that were in combat, and really the only people that didn't wear them were people that were on aircraft carriers that had headphones that kept the kept their hearing intact. So everybody else was assigned these, and the 3M earplugs were dual-sided, and you'll remember them if you wore them. They were yellow on one side and olive drab on the other side. You put one of the earplugs in so you could not hear anything, and the other earplug in so that you could at least have a conversation, but it would be muted if you were in combat. So it turns out that 3M had somebody that did the design work on this, and in order to put the earplugs into a particular container that the military wanted to use, they cut part of the 3M hearing earplug, they cut it out, and as a result, it wouldn't fit snugly in your ear. Whoops. And it wouldn't fit snugly in your ear, and so all these noises came in, and people, when they left the military, they had terrible hearing. And the reason we know that is because when you join the military, they have a baseline test. When you leave the military, you get another hearing test. And so many people, they anticipate over 1 million military members had hearing loss as a result of this defective earplug made by 3M. So just this past July, there was a whistleblower suit, and in the whistleblower suit, the 3M ended up paying the federal government over $9 million because of these defective earplugs. And so there are a number of lawyers from around the country that Emily and I are very involved with, and we have taken up the charge on this and expect to have many hundreds of hearing loss cases as a result of it. She's just been down to Duke to a school that involves these type of mass torts. I've just been down to one in Miami to discuss the very same thing, and we are fully immersed in this military problem, and we are filing lawsuits and representing lots and lots of people. So if anybody wants to know anything about it, pick up the telephone and call, because we are on the side of the military in this case. We're not suing the Veterans Administration. We're not suing the government. We are suing 3M, which is a huge corporation, and they'll have money to pay this. So if you want to know anything about it, pick up the phone, because we're representing lots of people, and we're going to represent hundreds of people from the military that have this hearing loss problem.
All right. Well, you'll be back in our next segment a little bit later on in the broadcast. And if you have a question about this, the toll-free number is 888-208-6946. Give us a call. We'll be back in just a little bit.